Right, let's move on quickly. How do I know when I know enough? This is quite a deep philosophical question on one level. This is from Arno Viersma. And Arno has been in touch quite a few times. It's good to have a question from you, Arno, on the Ask Paul Kirtley show. This is via Twitter. And the question is, if I can... Hi, Paul. I like your show. Thank you. How do I know when I have enough knowledge to go to the wilderness on my own? Well, on one level, you could just kind of laugh that question off if you were sort of arrogant and superficial, which I'm not. And as I say, it is quite a deep philosophical question: is how do we know when we know enough? Because particularly if we're practicing skills in a relatively benign environment and then we're going somewhere more testing, how do we know that we've trained hard enough? How do we know that we know the right range of skills? How do we know that we've practiced them well enough to apply them properly, efficiently and effectively in a real world situation? It's a very good question, and it's a hard one to answer. But what I would say is, again, it's about specification to start off with. There isn't such a thing as we use this term wilderness very broadly and somewhat sloppily sometimes, and I'm not saying you're being sloppy, but we as a whole, we use the word wilderness for everything from tundra to taiga forest, boreal forest, to you know, the deserts of Africa, through to you know, the steppe in South America, the Mongolian plains. There's lots of places that we call wilderness, but they're all very, very different. And so I think you have to define a little bit more carefully. And I'm sure in your own mind, you've got a place that you want to go, whether it's in Scandinavia or North America or Africa or Asia, or in the mountains or in the forests or in the deserts or in the plains, or it could be lakes, it could be seashores, it could be remote coastlines, but you've got somewhere you've got in mind as a wilderness that you want to visit and you want to explore and you want to be comfortable in and you want to be capable in. And I think first off you have to specify to yourself explicitly where that is. Then you can think about, okay, well, what resources are available there? You know, what tree species are common and widespread that I need to know, that are useful to me, and make sure that you have the skills to use them, whether it's for firelighting or other things that you may need to do there. How do I find my way there? What natural navigation aids are there? Are there any issues with using compasses in those places in terms of magnetic variation, and all of these things that are going to, you know, make you be able to navigate properly or prevent you from navigating properly. Make sure you understand those things so that you can find your way there and back safely. What are the hazards? Are there any animal hazards? Are there snakes? Are there poisonous plants? Are there plants with contact poisons? So learn about the environment, and there's, you know, most places in the world there are fantastic guidebooks that you can get hold of, and you can start to learn about some of those things, even if it's just general, you know, like East African plants or East African trees. You can learn quite a lot just from learning from reading those things. You know, and there are basic skills which will serve you well wherever you go. Being able to light small stick fires, being able to light things with a fire steel, being able to make feather sticks, being able to understand the motion of the sun and the moon and be able to navigate via them. All those things are widely applicable. Friction fire lighting by bow drill is a very widely applicable technique. So all of these things you can apply wherever you're going, but then you need to look at the specifics of the environment. Is it a particularly cold environment? Do you need specific knowledge about looking after yourself in the cold? Build up a picture of what you need. It might just be seasonal. You might need certain skills in the summer, different skills in the winter, and then work on them. Do you need particular craft in terms of personal skill sets, in terms of movement? Do you need to be able to paddle a canoe on rapids? Do you need to be able to ski? Do you need to be able to ski and pull a pulk? Do you need to be able to snowshoe? So learn those skills, you can break it down so that you can do those things nearer to home, or you can go on a lesser trip, like go out on a day trip by ski, go out on an overnight trip to a hut by ski, go out for a weekend trip by ski, and then go on your week-long hut-to-hut tour that you want to do in the wilderness. You can build up that way, the same as anything. So don't just, if you're not used to hiking at all, if you've never done any day hikes, don't be thinking about doing a 2-week hike into a really remote wilderness. Get your basic hiking skills up, get your basic physical fitness for that activity up, and then build experience, build fitness, build resilience, have a feedback loop for what equipment works, what equipment doesn't. That is how you get good. So yes, if you ask, how can I prepare myself for wilderness in isolation? Here's this amorphous idea of wilderness. The gap seems very big. But if you break it down about what does that actually mean, and what do I need to be able to do in order to be comfortable, in order to look after myself, in order to be able to get myself home safely again, and then build on those skills and put those blocks in place one by one, and then build up experience gradually, iteratively, you will get to a point where that gap is bridged and you will comfortably go into that environment and have an enjoyable time. And if things do go wrong, you'll have some skills to fall back on that will help you get out of there. And always remember to tell somebody where you're going. Always tell somebody when you're going to be back. And that is one of the most important things that you can do. Right, canoe survival situation. This is from Andrew Casey, and it's from Instagram, and his question says, "Hi Paul, and to all the Ask Paul Kirtley viewers, I hope you're all well. Episode 26 got me thinking in regards to survival shows on TV. Survival shows are for